Well, it is round two of the A-League season for the Mariners coming up. It's Sydney FC away. Can the Mariners keep the momentum going after last week's incredible F3 Derby victory? This is a huge game coming up for the Mariners. I'm personally very excited about this game. I think just based off what we saw last week and the energy and I think the enthusiasm that victory gave the players and just the club overall, the fan base. There's a sense of look. We don't want to get carried away, of course. It's important that we don't sort of get lost after that victory last week. And there's a huge season coming up, but there's a sense of optimism that maybe we can pull off some big surprises this season. And to get a win here against our rival Sydney FC, I mean, this would be a huge way to back up that F3 Derby victory and to really, again, show the rest of the competition that we mean business this season. We'd love to get your thoughts as well. What do you make of this game coming up for the Mariners? What's your predictions? And who would you like to see come in and start for the Mariners as well? We'll talk a little bit later in regards to the team news, and there's some couple big changes that we may well see for the Mariners in this game. But it's at Leichhardt Oval this Saturday, 7:35 p.m. kickoff. Let's make sure we bring some strong numbers for the Mariners fans here to support the lads in this game. First of all, I want to talk about Sydney FC's lineup. This is the starting 11 that they fielded for their round one game against Adelaide United, a 2-1 loss for Sydney FC. Possession was pretty even in the end of that game, but there were big chunks of that match, especially in the first half, where Sydney didn't have the ball. They were sitting back quite deep, not pressing as much as maybe they were last season, a slightly different style of play from the Sky Blues. They were threatening at times, and they did get a late goal through Joe Lolly, who was easily their best player last week and has to be a player to watch here for the Mariners. And we expect Lolly to play off that right-hand side again, which will mean a lot of work for Lucas Moragas, who we expect to start at left back for the Mariners. So, well, he might be pinned back a little bit in this game, having to do some defensive work in this matchup. They've got a new look front line with Campuzano and Piero Quispe. Both those guys showed glimpses last week, but may well take a few weeks just to sort of settle into the A-League. Al Hassan Toure was off the left, but it could be Abu Walati potentially playing on that left wing as well. Marcel Tisserand, another one of their new signings at the back there for Sydney. And Devonish Mears actually made a few really, really good saves last week for the Sky Blues as well. So you look at that team overall, and good balance of experience, quality, and youth as well in there as well. We've got Ocon Engsler and Reece Yuli, two young Socceroos in the heart of midfield there who may well be starting this game also. But in terms of the Mariners, we should talk about how's it going to look for the Central Coast. So this is the team news that was announced for this weekend. And you can see down the bottom here of this graphic, the ins and outs. So three big players coming in to the squad here for the Mariners. First of all, James Donachie could be making his Mariners debut this weekend. He has been included in the matchday squad after missing round one. Now, there's big conversations in regards to whether Donachie comes straight into the starting 11 and what that means for someone like Brad Tapp, who you surely have to have in that starting 11. Tapp was good last week, very, very good, wearing the captain's armband. Does Tapp then shift into midfield? Do you start Donachie, but then does it McCalman or Steele drop out? Both those guys were good last week, so I would love to hear from you guys in regards to what would you like to see happen there. Does Donachie come straight in? He provides that experience and that strength at the back, that leadership. But, do you sacrifice one of those midfielders? It's an interesting debate, that's for sure. Faisal is also available for selection as well. It's Alexi Harides who comes in, set to make his Mariners debut possibly as well. Shumba Mutakoi drops out, and Trent Sainsbury, currently the only reported injury that the Mariners have at this moment in time. But you look at the team overall, it's looking strong, it's looking competitive in regards to competition for places. Across those midfield and the wide positions especially, it's going to be really tricky for Warren Moon to select a team. Well, I say tricky. I mean, it's great to have those selection headaches, but I think we will see the same starting 11 that we we did see from last week. This 4-2-3-1 with Redmayne and goals, Rue, Tapp, Paul, Moragas in that back four, so I would still start Tapp at centre back. McCalmont is still in midfield. DePizio playing that number 10 role behind Edmondson, Brandman, and Dinur off the wings. So, a lot of things to talk about here. First of all, Brad Tapp, I think, should start at centre-back again. I think just because we won last week, just because of the starting 11, and it wasn't just a great, obviously, finish in that game, but I thought overall we were actually quite competitive in that match. I thought in the first half we had some really good passages of play. So, I wouldn't like to see that rhythm disrupted. And I think we should sort of keep this going with this current 11 that we have at the moment. I mean, James Donachie, look, if he does come in and start, I wouldn't be disappointed. But what do you do then? I don't think McCalmont gets dropped. I thought McCalmont was probably our best player last week. He was great in midfield. Maybe Harry still drops out to the bench and Tap moves up into midfield alongside McCalmont. We know as well, I mentioned earlier how Lucas Moragues is going to have to be doing a lot of defending to try and control Joe Lolly in this game. It's not just going to be a job for Lucas Moragues, but for sort of that left-sided central midfielder who, could be Steele, could be McCalmont, or possibly even Tap. Because we know Joe Lolly, who's playing off the right-hand side, likes to cut inside, come in field. So it might even be a situation where we sort of double up with the marking there on Joe Lolly, where it's Moragues and maybe Steele sort of, both marking Joe Lolly if he cuts inside onto his favoured left boot. So something to keep in mind there for that midfield combination. The wide positions there, I mean, I'm sticking with Brantman and Nyor. I wouldn't have picked those guys to be my starting wingers round one, but I thought they were good last week. I thought Brantman was very impressive off that left wing, won the penalty, and then Sabit Nyor, who, again, coming off this good loan spell with Heidelberg United, I thought he had some good moments on the right wing for the Mariners. A couple times he lost possession, but I really like what Sabit Nyor brings. He's a tall, strong player, and I think, look, Mariners may have to rely on the counter-attack at times, and getting Sabit Nyor, away down the wing, we know he's got pace as well. It could be a good move there for Mariners. But again, with Faisal coming in, he's a player who I have big expectations of this season. I think he's a truly talented player and could really go to another level this campaign. So I wouldn't mind seeing him come in from the start. And Thea Harris, another option as well. DeLima can play out in the wide position. So you can see there's lots of options and combinations there for the wide positions as well. And I would start Edmondson up top as well. I mean, Nico Duarte, great moment for him to come off the bench and score in the F3 Derby, a dream goal for him. But hey, hopefully he comes off the bench and scores again here, a winner against Sydney FC. So I would go for that same starting 11, maintain that rhythm from last week, maintain that consistency. But again, I will say, if Donachie comes in, I wouldn't mind it. I thought Harry Steele was very, very good last week, but if anyone had to drop out, it might be Steele and maybe tap into midfield alongside McCalmont. But that's the good thing. At this moment in time, I'm feeling pretty confident with our squad depth and the players on the bench we've got guys on the bench who can come off the bench and have an impact. And that'd be a great option to have, if this is the starting 11, to have Donachie on the bench. And maybe if we do have a lead, and maybe we have to drop to a back five, you bring on Donachie for an attacker. Great player to bring on to just see out a lead. So, good option there for Warren Moon. I'm really excited about this game. I'm hoping that we can get a result in this game. We should be wary of Sydney FC's quality, and look, they'll be so eager to get a result here, first home game. And of course, after losing last week, they are so determined here to get a victory. And they'll be eyeing this off as a big win here for them. But Central Coast Mariners, man, I think they showed everyone last week that we are going to be a competitive team this season. I'm going to say a draw in this game. I think a draw would be a good result. And how about that to start off the season? A win round one, and then away to Sydney, a good team to get a draw. I think would be a good start for this Mariners side, who has gone through a lot this preseason. So we'd love to hear from you guys. What do you make of this match? Drop your score predictions in the comments, and who would you like to see start in the game for the Central Coast Mariners? Let's bring some strong numbers down there to Leichhardt Oval. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe for all the Mariners content we are doing here on the channel. My name's Lockie. See you in the next one.